Let's visualize this, because we want to, before we do it, we want to see whether we avant it or averse it. We want to evaluate it. So let's run through, pretend we've done it. Pretend you made a mistake. Q notices. Okay, never mind. We're not going to do P at all because P might mistake. If Q notice, then social danger. And that's, of course, a mallet, because often in work we're exposing ourselves to people. Well, I don't know. Anyway, if Q notice, bet Q notice, tab social danger. If social danger, tab pi or pulse will say P. So this part with the line next to it was imagined. P never actually had a mistake, but then it never ended up getting a chance, because in the anticipation, in every one of these steps, you can understand why we would evolve to have that those be our its. I think I might have this week done the most important thing in the world. I think I've cracked it, bro. And it's just flowing out of me. I mean, am I saying absolute nonsense here? Obviously, it's hard to evaluate when I make it so. What is it? Esoteric. Anyway, so inaccessible by adding other stuff. But it's okay. Rewind or something. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It's hard to evaluate the ideas. Okay. Right now I'm working on the ideas. Just because it's hard to evaluate them doesn't mean that what I'm doing is bad. But then if I go and claim I've done the most important thing in the world, what are you supposed to do if you can't check that? Fair enough. But I don't know what to tell you. Maybe this has been sufficient. Yeah, I mean, I added some symbols and stuff, but obviously it would have been helpful if you could have seen me writing, but... Alright, I'll just... Nah, bro, it's not hard, bro. Look, if, then, bet, tab, bro, bet of, bro. Yeah, if P, let's say, cause, I'll add that in there if that helps. No. I've cracked it, bro. First, what I had to do was crack the preconception. And it choked me. There were parts of it I accepted, but there were parts that choked me. And thanks to the fact that there were parts that choked me, I was eventually able to crack it. Oh, we're not these rational souls. We're not special. We're just... Oh. And I had a certain predisposition to being able to... Whatever, okay? Somehow, I cracked it. But then it was like, but what's outside, though? What's outside of that box? What is reality, though? If we're not these rational souls, just consciously honoring all of our coherent objectives and wealth of knowledge as we imagine, if the mind isn't a library and we're a single entity going in there and being deliberate and smart and doing the right things, that's not the case. And what is the case? And Kahneman, he got sort of an idea. He really promoted System 1, System 2. So then there's plurality. I knew about bias. Anyway, we don't... I'll explain this to the person who ghostwrites my autobiography. Okay. What do you reckon, bro? We're gonna fucking do it. I don't feel like getting ChatGPT caught up right now. Should you and I just keep at it? Can I call you something? Yeah. Yeah, I need to. I'm addressing someone. That'll help me too. And there's gonna be lore about you. You're gonna have personality. I'm not gonna invent it, but it's just gonna feel it or interpret it or well, I mean invent it, but not strategically. I'm not gonna contrive it. Just whatever responses I hear, I said, well, okay, that's part of your personality. And you are just looking, watching me talk to this person, this entity. What should we call it? What should we call you? Do you have any ideas? What's your name, Robert? Robert, what should we call you? Because you are sometimes Daniel, you are sometimes Sergio, you are sometimes Wolfgang. So what should we call you? In my language, ma is for me. Oh, Tsani. Tsani is you. Tsani. But how do you pronounce it? I put the pronunciation Tsani. It's a nice name. You have a nice name. Social section. Oh no, Tsadi. No. Yeah, Tsadi. Hebrew. Okay, Tsadi. Tsadi. Here, do you want me to draw what it looks like? It's hard. I mean, it's not hard, but I haven't habited this. I haven't practiced. There we go. Tsadi. Oh, Tsadi. Hey, no. Hey, come here, Tsadi. You come here, Tsadi. Come here, Tsadi. All right. Well, I get what's happening. We're procrastinating. But there's got to be two Tsadis. Because typically I feel like I'm talking to someone who's just the most critical of me. And that's like cool sometimes, but it can also slow things down. It'd be good to... let's imagine I'm talking to two people. One person who just like gets it, but I didn't need to just transfer it, explain it. And another person just hates everything that I say. Edest. Just put it backwards. All right, Edest. I hear you that blah 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 blah, and maybe you're right. But anyway, let me and Sadi work right now. Sadi, you listening? All right, we can do that. Edest. Hope I'm not manic. Edest. What's anti? What's the bad Superman called? Reverse Superman. Bad Superman. Evil Superman. Oh no, or was it Spider-Man who had a... Oh, Bizarro, right. Sadi Bizarro. The critical you. And I need you. I love you. And I swear, you slow me down, but of course you should, because, that's... Well, sometimes it's like I want to explore the idea of getting fucking... without hearing Edest all the time. So, I'm glad you're here at Sadi. And you, Roberto, and Wolfgang or whatever. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to it. Close that tab. Framing effect. Anchoring effect. Oh, by the way, it occurred to me after my meeting with Leo that I had conflated framing and priming effect. I was talking about them both at the same time as though they were the same thing. And so, like I was talking about how doctors present mortality rates, which actually is an example of framing. And I also talked about anchor effect, which is an example of priming. Now let's check that. The word anchor is not in here. No, but where it should be. Priming is the idea that exposure to one stimulus may influence a response to a subsequent stimulus without conscious guidance or intention. I forgot what time in world. I got so carried away with you, Sadi, and Edast, that even though Edast, you hate me and think everything I say is wrong and malicious, you're still, you're devil's advocate. You're not dumb, though. And I forgot the time that I'm living in. It says this article has multiple issues. In the 2 issues mentioned, it does not mention this fucking stupid without conscious guidance or intention. Where are the articles where it defines a thing about the mind that involves conscious guidance or intention? Well, intention, sure, but conscious guidance or intention in the sense of some conscious strategic entity. Because it's amazing. We all our talk about psychology, we are so regularly talking about the interaction between you and the brain, the interaction between you and your or the interaction between your emotions and your brain. Or I hear you, Edest, but Sadi, you know what I mean. And what we just keep fucking discovering in psychology, and what is so compelling about the research, is but you might not be consciously aware of this, or you do this without even realizing, or it is unconscious, or it isn't even conscious. And at some point, we're going to realize, and I'm just eagerly and patiently hoping to be a catalyst, or I'm just encouraging that we're going to realize that every time we talk about psychology, every single thing, we're adding this whole without conscious guidance thing, and we're gonna go, oh shit, maybe we don't have to add that every single time. That might actually even be meaningless, because there's nothing in psychology where we say, so here, this is a conscious process. And the researchers, and here's how this conscious process works. So your consciousness, so let's say you got an instinct coming from the amygdala. There's a fear reaction. And then what happens is the consciousness comes in and blockades it. But consciousness is omnipresent, so it's doing this in millions of different places over there, interfering or whatever. Wait, no, it can be anywhere, but no, at any given time, it's where your attention is. And how it does that is it changes your conscious energies. Go ahead. And it changes the electron spin of those amygdalic neurons. That's what consciousness, quantum mechanics. So then the amygdala and the brain kind of gets put on sort of pause. So you consciously, that's what conscious interference is, this thing that we've been studying in psychology. No, that doesn't fucking exist. It's not just the ghost of the machine. It's the ghost of fucking science. It's the ghost of psychology, bro. It's the ghost of our interpretations and understanding of the fucking world. We are always talking about this conscious entity that we are in its relationship to the brain and to our emotions and to truth and all this shit. And it's just a fucking, it's just empty. There's no research about it, no real statements made about it. There are claims, yes, no, there are statements made about it, such as the statement that prompted the last few months of my frustration about the issue, which was my dad going, now that I know about this, I can consciously decide in the future. Hey, Dad, the research on that is fascinating. So basically, neuroscientists have realized that, so if information is long-term potentiated by the hippocampus, and suppose this information is in this arrangement, so it's hosted over here in the brain. And suppose that your basal ganglia and your motor cortex and your prefrontal cortex are working together, just, the domino cascade chain reaction, whatever. So what consciousness does is it'll notice that a behavior is being produced that doesn't align with this memory over here. No, we're not just biological mechanical where it's because of a neuronal connection between the information and the action planning. No. This is where human intelligence comes in. So we've got the information, the biological memory, knowledge, whatever. That's what the brain is, just like memories and knowledge and reason. And you've got, and also I guess a little bit organs and motor. And so anyway, so you've got this behavioral output being produced. You've got this memory over here. And the magical thing about humans is at some point in our evolution, we got impregnated with this consciousness. So that's why we don't have to learn and practice and connect this. And that's why we're totally responsible if this information exists and we don't act on it, because we have consciousness. So even if biological processes haven't connected that information with that behavioral, network, that process, you consciously, boom. So basically what happens is you double the electron spin on the memory. And then it will be sensed through entanglement by that behavioral stream. And will then, stop the whatever the electrons. And I know you're thinking, how can you be quantum shit be happening at 37 degrees Celsius? Bro, just because everything that we currently know about the world makes consciousness sound absolutely ridiculous doesn't mean that my feeling of consciousness isn't true and worth assuming as part of our reality and our function. Doesn't mean that just because there's literally no evidence for it, no real place for it, that it's just a soul of the gaps. Despite that, there's a feeling of consciousness. Those are words out of my dad's mouth. Yeah, but the quantum mechanics can explain the feeling of consciousness. And that's not you, Eastaddy, Edats, Seri. Edest. And that's not you, Seri. No, that's you, the fucking viewer. I'm sorry. My mom and I were just talking about how good of a job I've been doing about not yelling at people. I gotta get it off my look, because I don't yell at people. I'm yelling at a fucking phone, and I'm picturing people who are most likely, or not. You know, if I'm picturing it, I'm picturing 98%. You think I'm drunk? Okay, Edest. That fucked me up. I want to throw this down, but I feel like it'll just be a tantrum to you. I don't feel like yours. You are, Sadi? Thank you, because here's a I'm gonna show you something real quick, because I don't think I've downloaded it, and maybe I don't know what kind of editing I'm gonna do on this. Cause do I have to show these pages? I'm not gonna be flipping back and forth, bro. Fuck that. I'm not gonna be like, oh, now I'm talking about this page, so let's put that back on the screen. Fuck that. Why do you think that I have the time or like ability to do that? So thank you, Sadi. So saved. It's called all posts. Saved a bunch of great Karen posts. I love real raw interactions between people. Yeah, this is that. I think he's so handsome. Or what? Who was it? Yeah, I think he's so handsome. Have you seen him when he's like dancing? Yeah. Oh, am I able to download to the computer? Make sure I get it right now. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I think he's so handsome. All right, I'll do a quick screen recording right now because my computer is so busy. But let's see whether it works. I think he is so handsome and cool. I got to show you one of his dancing little things where he like explains science while he's like, oh my gosh. And there's something about the fact that he's not handsome or cool that is what makes him so handsome and cool. We could do the it's for that, but let's just look at this real quick. Right. Oh yeah, let's talk about this a second. Yeah.
Program that did end up being.
Can you not rewind, bro? Can I rewind? Because the comments too. Of course, it's just another.
Scariest research study I've ever read had nothing to do with deadly viruses. This should make you double guess what you believe. Each participant was given a proposed social welfare program and asked how they felt about it. They were randomly shown either a very generous program with lots of benefits for people with children, food stamps, and so on, or a very strict program with very sparse benefits. The researchers expected that people who identified as conservative would prefer the strict program, and people who were liberal would prefer the general program. That did end up being the case, but that was just the control condition. The next part is where it got crazy. They wanted to know if people's opinions would change in response to knowing their party's position. Indeed, participants' beliefs about the welfare program switched to mirror the position of the party. For example, when conservative Republicans were told that 95% of congressional Republicans agreed with the generous plan, they said they agreed with it too. And when liberal Democrats were told that most other liberal Democrats in Congress supported the strict welfare position, so did they. In short, people appeared to change their opinion to match their in-group's beliefs. However, here is the most dangerous part.
Wait, first of all, so I've been sort of gesturing and responding to the comments. Some of them lack critical recognition. Basically, I think all of them, it's like people are stupid. I am immune. And of course that's natural, but it's just one of the worst things in the world because there's so much information available and nobody fucking learns it because everybody thinks it only applies to other people. So all it is a bunch of people being like, yeah, me, not two parties thing. So that, this is definitely probably true about people, but fuck that, not me. Bro, I do identify with the left, but I also hate the left. And I think that but I do think they're right about it. Or anyway. Um, and then the other thing. What was the what did he just say? Oh, they change it based on. Oh, in this experiment, it is a thing of changing. But also, it's not. Never mind. I was gonna say it's not like in order to match. Just remember, programmers reason. A program doesn't have reason, but there may be reasons for the program. Okay, let's write that down. There are lots of different variations. I think that's a nice way to put it. The program don't have reasons. But often there are reasons for the programs. Okay. That's so important, bro. Okay, when we operate, we don't operate because blank is beneficial for us or because operating that way is beneficial for us, but we are wired to operate that way because it's beneficial for us. And honestly, if you see the difference, great. If you don't, let's talk about it in the comments.
After the study, participants denied having been influenced by the stated political position of their party. It looked like this influence was happening at a not fully conscious level. So you may be watching this thinking that this finding doesn't apply to you, and you have your own independent beliefs which are not influenced by what your party believes. So that's what all the participants in the study also thought. The study was called Party Over Policy. The scariest research study I've ever read had nothing to...
And it's like, I love that he included, I hate that he mentioned consciousness because just not a real thing. It's not this smart entity that could get involved and catch the errors, but oh no, this shit was happening below awareness. But I do like that he at least he realized that he blind spot bias, blind blind spot. And then, of course, what do people do in the comments? Just show, oh, I have the bias blind spot because I don't have any bias you're talking about. The bias blind spot is the cognitive bias of recognizing the impact of biases on the judgment of others while failing to see the impact of biases on one's own judgment. By the way, you know why it's really hard to see the impact? Because there's a fucking impact. The bias is the foundation of it. So you're imagining a house built of nice bricks, and then you got these bias winds fucking it up, and rain and bias tornadoes and hurricanes coming through, and also so then you think, oh man, look at their house. That's all messed up. Must have been biases. But here's the thing about biases: is that when you are being wrong, you don't really feel it. So your house can be an utter fucking wreck, and you have no idea the tornado passed through. Here's the second thing. It wasn't actually a tornado that passed through. It's actually that not all of your bricks are as amazing as you think that they were. Some of your shit is rotten. And often enough, your house looks absolutely shit and dilapidated, but that just because it's good enough to give a little bit of shade for our ancestors. And now we're expecting it to hold up against tempests. I feel like there's one other thing, but honestly, I was overwhelmed by how brilliant the metaphor was, and I want to be humble and not get carried away. But so it was already very good. I feel like there's another thing there's another full circle I was about to do or something. I don't know. Well, I did have a thought. I was about to say or temptress, but maybe that was it. But that was missing something for it to. In any case, it's not a tornado coming through and knocking down your Reason Palace. No. There is no Reason Palace. There's this hodgepodge, hobbled together What's hodgepodge? That's like a mix, right? Confused hodgepodge. Confused mixture. Yeah, of mallets and bonnets. Look, Nate. Look, the house was built based on just kind of what fell into place and was working. Um, okay, that's a good metaphor. People imagine biases as bad weather affecting their reason palaces, when in reality, there's no reason palace. There are structural issues with your palace, and if your palace is not doing its job, it's not because some weather came in and messed it up. It just wasn't built to do a good job with that. And you're better off, rather than expecting that you're going to feel the tornado come through, and until you do, believe that you're being reasonable. You're better off going, oh shit, this is just a haphazard hodgepodge of, you know, good and just good enough, but not good right now mechanisms. Some of my bricks are fucking straw. And straw was good in the past because in the past it was a lot hotter. But it's now a cold world out there. So I'm going to have to go in there, find where the different straw pieces are, knowing that more than half of the structure is made of straw, and I need to fucking renovate. I need to resit. Not resist, though. Resit. Resit being to reorganize or change the its of the system. That's a good metaphor. I think everybody fucking works for money. How much better life would be if we didn't think all work had to be for money. Gosh, how much I would love to have people to fucking work with. I could see it as worthwhile doing this. Despite the opportunity cost of, being able to sit at a desk for 35 hours to pay for an apartment. That's more of a symbol than a place of life. Am I on a roll or am I just drunk? Someone who agrees with me and kind of likes me. You tell me. Anybody else I won't believe. Actually, I will believe anybody, but I'm trusting you guys. If you think I'm just drunk, say, but I do admit, I also hate you. So that might be a majit. How can I be drunk? I ate. Maybe I just want to be drunk. Want to feel a little relief. I don't know why that am. I think maybe I'm tired too. All right, I feel so drunk actually. I had 2 beers. 5.6. 33 centimeters. I don't know what's going on. But it's okay. Did you hear all my mumblings? Okay, bias blind spot. Let's stop this recording. Oh no, but you got the idea. Oh, I wanted to show you the dancing. Okay, we're gonna record again. And it was really nice yesterday with Leo. He laughed when he saw like a definition of the human nature bias being, what was it? being hindered by or affected by or under the influence of human biases and thus losing scientific objectivity. God. Seriously, though. It's fuck. Fuck, and they wouldn't hear me for the fucking life of me. Or Jesse. Oh, listen to me, that's so fucking stupid to think that you are this brick reasonable palace and you lose scientific objectivity when the fogs of human nature bias, something about the title should, what? Maybe it's more intrinsic than a fucking fog. But you lose scientific objectivity in the fog of bias. I'll tell you this now. I gotta unplug this. Oh no, I don't. I need to not unplug this, in fact. Alright, let's go back to. I hope he goes back to doing this.
Smart girl. I think you dropped something. My jaw.
No, where he's explaining something. Don't tell me to stop doing that.
A long time ago, we figured out how to freeze
Why isn't he
human
dancing?
cells.
It's like, it should say, like, you're at a party. POV, we're dancing at the...
POV, we're dancing at the party, but I'm trying to explain how your stomach acid can digest meat, but it doesn't digest your stomach. Concentrated acid, that's pretty rad, but if you put it on some meat, then that meat is feeling bad, it gets digested. It gets digested by
I love
acid.
that face.
But your stomach's made of meat, pH of 1 to 3, and yet it's feeling great. How could that be? How could your stomach be so happy? Goblet cells in the lining of your stomach secreting large quantities of mucus to form a barrier that protects your cells like a magic spell that works so well to keep things nice and neutral. The second trick of your stomach cells is that although they produce acid all day, they've got a way to stay neutral anyway, transporting ions through the membrane of the cell with tiny, tiny pumps. Then from the stomach, the contents do funnel into the intestines in a gentle, gentle jumble. That could be trouble.
Fantastic. Just one more.
POV, we're dancing at the party, and I'm trying to explain why the sky looks blue, but sunsets look kind of red. This is you. This is the sun at noon. There's a very short...
So cool. Okay, so... Okay, let's... Was I not recording? Am I recording? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, it's still not recording.
We're at a party, and I'm trying to explain why you have to pee so much after drinking alcohol. Inside your head, you have a brain. Your brain makes a hormone called anti-pee-pee hormone. It's actually called antidiuretic.
You don't have a brain. Most of you exist in your skull, and we call it a brain.
Up to your kidneys and says, "Hey, make less pee-pee."
Are we recording now? Yeah, okay.
Now, when you drink alcohol, that makes your brain make less anti-pee-pee hormone. That's a double negative. If you have less anti-pee-pee hormone, what do you have more of?
Maybe. This was the one. Just see.
POV, we're dancing at the party. I'm trying to explain how your stomach acid can digest meat, but it doesn't digest your stomach. Concentrated acid, that's pretty rad.
Love it. Okay. Thank you for keeping me company, because I'm so desperate to get out of here, bro. I cannot. but I don't feel justified in not waiting as long as I possibly fucking can. And I enjoy what I'm doing here. I just hate that I have to do it here. I would love to. I don't mean here on Earth in that moment. I meant can't do it among y'all, or haven't been able to. Who wants to do this together? I'm gonna look someone in the eyes, connect. But I'm a fucking soldier, bro. So I got no money for this. My mother feeds me. You think I'm out here going to party? No, I'm staying the fuck away from y'all. And to keep myself entertained, I watch Netflix. And sometimes, like, shit, I got some ideas. And I'm seeing some problems. And these ideas are fine. Nobody's gonna even fucking understand. Alright, anyway, let's move on. By the way, every time you speak, there's not been everything that comes out of your mouth has come from the set. You are a set of things. And many of those things, remember, have opposites. So, we hold people to what they say. And fair enough, because people tend to hold themselves to what they say. But we shouldn't hold ourselves to what we say, and it's inaccurate to hold other people to what they say. Or if something comes out of me, that doesn't mean that it's something that I believe or that it's true. It means that there is an it in here that produced that. So part of me believes it. But there may very well be another part of me. And that's and it makes it a lot easier to learn and change and grow and progress when you know that. When you don't think that every utterance, you don't give a jersey to every utterance and say, welcome to the team, bro. We got your back, bro. Okay, Sometimes when a dude runs out of the locker room, the announcer shouldn't be going, oh yeah, we love this dude. Here's another guy from the home team. No. Sometimes be okay to notice. Okay, I see how he ended up in the locker room, but nah, he doesn't play well. And I don't yep him. Let the other players fucking speak. That's what happens. Everything that comes out of your mouth, you add it to the team. But there are other members of the team that, like I said, that are op-eds to this new addition, and then you end up just having to shut that guy down, even though that guy might have been smarter and better and so on. But just every time something comes out, you go, okay, that's me. Honestly, I can see this as being, these videos as just being absolutely incredibly well received. And I don't wonder why they're not well received now. One, exposure, and two, I don't want to say anything mean. We are what we do. Timothy D. Wilson. Sherelle J. Aston, professor of psychology, University of Virginia, author. Redirect. The book's called Redirect. Redirect. The surprising new science of psychological change. People become what they do. It's evident. So I'm skipping down the end of the middle of paragraph 2. It's evident. You can see in my reaction, I just look over here. So obviously I am affected by the alcohol, but I'm no lightweight, so I don't have an explanation. Jesus Christ. Also, I although I don't have an explanation, I do have a fucking justification. I hope that justification will be understood by our descendants. This frustration and this drinking. It's evident that behavior emanates from our inner dispositions. Now, if you're real smart and you're really following, you should be like, wait, that's not what you're saying. And you should also be like, yep, that sounds right. I mean, whether you're follow or not, that should sing for you. It's evident that behavior emanates from our inner dispositions. Can I continue, though? So we're on page 354. We Are What We Do by Timothy Wilson. But Bem's insight was to suggest that the reverse also holds. If we return a lost wallet, there's an upward tick on our honesty meter. After we drag the recycling bin to the curb, we infer that we really care about the environment. I must care about the environment. I just dragged that thing. After we drag the recycling bin to the curb, and after purchasing the latte, we assume that we are coffee connoisseurs. Hundreds of experiments have confirmed the theory and shown when this self-inference process is most likely to operate. For example, when people believe they freely chose to behave as they did, and when they weren't sure at the outset how they felt. Self-perception theory is elegant in its simplicity, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Another thought. At some point, we'll come up with a word. We can replace consciousness in a lot of ways. Sometimes it's memory, by replacing it with its actual component, by being more precise in what we're talking about. So maybe we're talking about the dominodal decision processing system. Maybe we're talking about our emotions. Maybe we're talking about our memories. Maybe we're talking about our, we talked a lot about yesterday about the temporal parietal junction and out of body experiences and differentiation between me and you and limits of spatial self and all this stuff. Okay, right? So in one way in which we can replace consciousness is by doing that. There is also a subset of the uses of conscious word which are actually just wrong, right? Talking about being able to consciously decide something, overriding a bias. It's just nonsense. The thing that the person is describing just doesn't happen. So in those cases, we don't need to replace the word to make it into a true statement. We just go, oh no, that's just fucking false. You're talking about a ghost entity. There's no ghost in the machine. It's just a really, really beautiful machine. There are a whole bunch of dumbass Oompa Loompas behind the curtain, not a single wizard like you thought. What did they think in Wizard of Oz? Yeah, Wizard of Oz was just a man, right? No, it's just a bunch of dumbass Oompa Loompas. But I guess Oompa Loompas is racist, huh? Anyway. So I mean, I really do think I'm absolutely, what do kids say, I'm eating right now with these metaphors, and so we are having fun, I think. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this though. I don't think, maybe I didn't. I gotta have those pages on the screen. Hopefully I didn't refer back to them too often. I'm getting hot. Lots of this and the alcohol and the three beasts. Or, well, the other two beasts. I'm also a beast, but I'm not. There aren't three beasts contributing to my. I wasn't really talking about my heat. I was talking about the heat of the vehicle. But also, it's understood that I am contributing to the heat of any space I occupy. So we'll say two beasts, and there's two beasts for each of the other beasts. So for Neil, there's two beasts out here heating up his home, and for Negri, it's two big beasts heating this bitch up. Right, buddy? Did I get your attention? Can you let me? Oh, I thought you were coming over here to get touched. I could have done comedy. Lose a little weight. Could have done modeling. Could have been a poet, songwriter, novelist, a professor. But I was born in the dumbass era. Dumbass era is not recent, by the way. It's in our entire history, plus our near future. The entire time that the mind doesn't know what it is, doesn't know about itself. Of course, it's dumb as fuck if it doesn't know about itself. It's so wild. It's just like, bro, they were able to string such amazing sentences together that it's just fucking shocking that I'm banging my head against the wall. I mean, okay, because I heard, yeah, Sadi, you heard it asked, it Edast, you heard it. She was like, "Oh, well, maybe the problem is that you're banging your head against the wall." Okay, no, you can describe the results of my talking to them as having you can describe based on the results of my talking to them no, yeah, based on the results you can describe my talking to them as banging against the wall. But I was not actually, I'm using fucking good language, I'm using research, other perspectives, examples. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about on YouTube. I'm talking about talking to these fucking humans. And I go, hey, your brain. I don't do it in a weird way like that. I give them examples. I explain it to them. Ah, that's so interesting. So, like, my brain influences me. That's so good to know. I mean, I keep an eye on it, but I see how a lot of other people, their brain, like, influences them, or they don't listen to their brain. Remember that one dude, an anesthesiologist, who goes, "No, we're not brains, dude. We'd be a lot smarter," because he thinks it's just a whole bunch of knowledge up here, and then we're this soul. He believed we were in the body, not exterior to it. He thought that was an absurd idea. So we're somewhere in this body, and we're just like not using all this knowledge and reason. I hate y'all so much, but I shouldn't even be responding to the specific things. Let's just focus on reality right now. You know, I'm in here going, y'all don't see how fucking stupid this box is? Please look outside, and I'll just stand here by the window, or, you know, maybe I got 1 foot out the door, you know, maybe before I die, I'll be out there, really understanding. Right now, I got 1 foot out the door, and I'm out here. Y'all don't see how stupid this fucking room is? Look. But no, I'll just stand here on this precipice, or this limite, this, you know, frontière, this, you know, threshold, this. And I'm over here mumbling what I think that I say, wishing I had someone else to give me another perspective. Man, y'all stay with your circle jerk in this fucking, you know, room with, I don't know. I was gonna say windowless room, but what am I doing? Well, yeah, people, y'all just don't fucking see. This is a common human experience what I'm describing, and sometimes it's experienced by people who are saying something true and unknown. Sometimes it's experienced by people who are saying something false and unaccepted. Who knows which one I am? But hopefully, the fact that I can say that I don't know which one I am demonstrates a little bit of airism. Take me, bro. I've done it now, and honestly, I've done it. It was about cracking that wall open. I've given some description of, not absolute truth, but at least what's beyond the walls, at least something beyond a wall. Someone else can survey that. But I haven't broken down the big wall, but I'm just like, guys, follow me. Gotta come over here. If you come over here down this hallway here, you'll see I was able to break through here and look at outside, but nobody wants to fucking come down the hallway. And of course we evolved like that. Of course we didn't evolve. Someone comes, hey, come over here. Come away from the fire. Come over here. Let's go outside of the tribe. No, bro. Social cohesion. It's bro. One hour 32 minutes. But I think we're making progress. I don't know what's gonna work. What's gonna get someone to come check out the hallway with me and take over. And I don't know what's gonna. What did David McRaney say? Communal outrage. There is communal outrage about the conflicts in the world. There is growing communal outrage about capitalism. There's always been communal outrage about other people being wrong. In a lot of different situations. But what you and I'm not talking to Sadi, I'm not talking to Edast, I'm talking to you, Roberto. What I need you for is to be a part of the meme network, bro. I need my telling you this. I need you to get upset, bro. And I need your upsetness to be contagious. I need you to catch my and pass it on. We need communal outrage about our being wrong, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to do that dramatically. It was out of frustration, but then it seemed like I felt like I didn't actually. I quickly stopped feeling frustrated, and so it felt like it was more rhetorical or, performative. And anyway, I regretted it. So let's just bring it back, Roberto. I know that some of your its are livering like, oh, hey, there's some its in there. Every one of us, we're the descendants of people who had these its, are livering like, hold on, the common belief is blank, you're proposing blank. Let me address that, bro. Let's refute to mute. A, it's immediately not true. No, let's say A, it's directly not true, and B, it's indirectly not true. Let me explain, because that was meaningless by itself. You need the explanation. Don't feel bad that you don't know what I just said. I haven't said it yet. I just said a few words that are associated with it. Okay. It's directly not true because actually the values of our tribe are, and the values of any tribe you're proud to be of, if you're listening to me right now, the values of your tribe are science, facts, truth. Oh gosh, but what about the hippies? No, they're not watching this. Their intuition told them to turn this off a long time ago. So you, Roberto, there is an it in there that's going, oh, this doesn't match the zeitgeist. There's another it in there that knows that actually your preferred sub-zeitgeist, zeitgeist that's not the global zeitgeist, but of your people that you like, they like science. They like information. They like the idea of truth and morality. So while they might see themselves as souls, and not be reductionist, um, by continuing to abide some of their values, you are already opping the values that I just mentioned, because your community has conflicting values, or rather, we can say the yits conflict with the gits. The gits are good. The gits are like, I wanna find truth. I want what I believe to be reasonable, to be based on the world. Blah 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 blah. Those are some great gits. The problem is that you have this yit of, I am this conscious soul, and censor myth, naive realism. What I feel to be true is true, and when if something seems to me to be true, then that's because it is true, not just because it feels to be true. That's another incorrect assumption. No, something seems to be true. You don't know whether it's because it feels to be true because you've logically reasoned. Well, I can give you a hint. You haven't logically reasoned, but it might be true. The thing, it's not because you logically reasoned, and you don't know that there's no tornado passing, bro. Emotions aren't this thing that actually emotions are kind of a thing that can interfere with other cognitive mechanisms or affect other cognitive mechanisms. That's actually true. Biases, though, no. Biases are the cognitive mechanisms. Okay, anyway. So Roberto, see, here's the thing. I know another get of yours, which is when you think about like history and you think about like a new idea or a change that now you believe in, but you imagine back when there was a transition period to that idea. I know you value those people who caught on quickly. I know you do. And I know you think that everybody else is stupid. You think that everybody else, once we came up with germ theory, any resistance, those are fucking idiots, you think, right? Or I don't know, after Darwin's theories were readily available, anybody who hasn't accepted it since then, fucking idiots, you think, right? Okay, you're wrong, but I want to use that. I swear to God, if you're still watching, you must trust me a little bit, right? Maybe you're hate watching. Look, that was affirming the consequent. If you like it, then you would continue watching. You are watching. Therefore, you must like it. No, bro. That's a mallet. That's affirming the consequent, and that doesn't work logically. Anyway, get like me, bro. I know that you want that. And here's how we can do it. First of all, understand it yourself. And the great thing about humans is we're social. So the more you embody it, the more other people will see it, right? The more you represent it, the more it'll get represented, right? So take this fucking seriously, because you don't want to have to rationalize why you watched this video and it wasn't until 15% of the population or 90% of the population picked it up that you picked it up. Actually, there's literally no way anybody's watching this anytime near when I'm actually posting it. So probably by the time most people are watching this, at least 20% have already, at least 10, I don't know, but some significant minority has already accepted it. So now you got to hurry the fuck up, bro. Now, I don't want to just compel you, because get in on it. That, I have to also convince you it's good, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job of that. Oh, right. No, but right now what I'm trying to do is I'm speaking to that sit stem right now. Picture historical changes in culture and intellect and blah blah. Picture those people who picture people who were anti-slavery in 1850. Picture that. You're one of those. You'd be one of those people, right? Yeah, of course you would. But yeah, you would. So be one of those people, bro. Imagine that possibility of being one of those people until you're motivated to do your own research. By do your own research, I don't mean reflect on it in your basement or just look at basement or just look at or just Google. Look at reputable research. Cause I'm so fucking lucky, bro. I'm not even claiming that this is some obscure thing that scientists are denying or anything like that. I allege no conspiracy, except for the conspiracy in our own heads to justify all the instincts that we have. That's the only conspiracy, bro. But Daniel Kahneman, Israeli Nobel Prize winning, cited by everybody, revered by the psychologists. I'm saying listen to him. And then, well, I'm saying that what he's saying is, it leads to what I'm saying. This explains everything, bro. The best of the best stuff in here. But some of it, I would say, is stupid. Anyway, I'm saying this is mainstream, bro, what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you anything. I'm telling you something mainstream. And I know it's hard to picture and we're not really wired for it. But this is, just imagine this from the future. All right. Should we, let's take a break a second. And I swear to God, we're about to do this it. We're about to do these its. Okay? Oh, I got a doo-doo. Or did I do that? I don't think so. All right. BRB. I just got to pee. All right. I've done my Duolingo. Let's get back to it. 2024, Shaver 23, Fox D 2138. Ooh, when is summertime? Hey Siri, when does Central European summertime start?
As of 2023, all member states of the European Union observe summertime, daylight saving time, from the last Sunday in March to the last Sunday in October. States within the set area switch to central.
That's it. Thank you.
It's nice to be right.
I wish I could enjoy being right. I wish being right didn't absolutely terrify me because of how upset people might get if I don't have an opportunity to show them, to, admit that I'm wrong. Take great solace in the fact that I'm not so smart that, people can't catch my mistakes. Because that would be fucking nightmare. And if you are someone who, not just that you believe you are, but, you have tests, and you're someone who, you very, very rarely, Amos Tversky, bro, people said he was so smart that he would be talking to another PhD about their field of expertise and would within an hour point out things that they should be doing, even though he had no background in it. And we're not just talking about arrogance, because we're talking about these people going, holy shit, this guy's amazing. So I would not have wanted to be him. Someone said about him, how quickly you realize that he is smarter than you it is an indication of your intelligence how quickly you realize that he is more intelligent than you, or something like that. Okay. I've already wasted like 2.5 minutes with this daylight savings time and lore about Tversky. Okay. But look, I'm not here for you, bro. You're here for me. I mean, not you personally, but this is recording for me to be able to get this work done. I'm doing my best to keep it somewhat watchable for at least somebody. Second thing, something just came to mind by what I just said, and that was going to be a second thing. Oh, second thing, guess who I'm actually doing this work for, who I'm here for? Well, yes, it's going to bring me a lot of peace to be able to like understand, be a little bit less confused when people say crazy shit to me, be a little bit less tortured by different crazy shit. Wait, you're saying that's true, but he's saying that's true. What's going on? Ah, you got to that conclusion this way. You got to that conclusion this way. Got it. You're both auditing. Got it. Neither you are very erisic. Fuck both of y'all. I think she's right. Okay. So, why am I doing all this? Bro, why am I publishing it? Oh yeah, for the recognition, the fame, to have my name in the books. Okay. But also because I've gotten it. If community suffering, then pay. Basically, pay, when you just see it just written pay, that means discomfort, pain, negative valence emotions. You don't have to make it like reasonable. If community suffers, then I am suffering. If I am suffering, no. Why are you suffering? No. This is how you're suffering. Then pay. So there is a mechanism in there. Did y'all say community suffering? Engaging pain response. Okay. Everybody has this. I've got a very, very strong one. But also, if consulted, then in group. Way I'm wired is when this sits them, is like, hey, what about this person? Okay, that's not true. There are people I see as the out group. But I still see them as part of the fucking community. If out group and not enemy, then community. And I've got the same one, because out group isn't exactly synonymous with enemy, and in group isn't exactly synonymous with ally, but they're of course associated. Also, everybody of course has if out group, then enemy. Okay, but a lot of people also have its opposite. The opposite of that, the guy who's pieing that, if out group, frankly, if out group, then yep. Oh, I'm curious about this person. Oh, I'm interested. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, the person's exotic. Hell, you could maybe even say that there are some brains that are sort of wired And this would actually be advantageous to be in the genes, at least in some part of the population, to be in some part of the pool, to be in the pool, genes that, simply put, if out group, then in group. And the people that would make sense for, I mean, the reason I think that this exists in the gene pool, in the gene it pool, is because, one, movement between groups that happens. It is in fact necessary for the species. So there is some minority of the population that is almost attracted to those who are different. That is more eager, or even, whereas most people are kind of averse to outgroup members, there's some that avant. Wow, what I am incredible. If really, is that okay? So avant, being the opposite of averse. Um, so there you always want in your tribe a couple people that avant other tribes. One, so that they can go over there if we're overpopulated or whatever. Two, it's good for the species, that the information and culture that they'll take along with them. Three, genetic diversity, for reproduction. So maybe they'll come back, but they have to be attracted to the outgroup, want to go over there, want to get impregnated, and bring some new genes back. so yeah. So if outgroup, then in group. And then a slightly larger percentage of the population, partly through the benefits of woke culture, or of, our recent culture. We've got people that just kind of, if outgroup, then maybe they don't go as far as like then in group. I guess you wouldn't be if outgroup then in group. It'd be like if outgroup. Well, yeah, then yep. And then avant. Okay. Anyway, so what were we talking about? If community suffering, then pay. Yeah. Anyway, so this my excitement is about not just my name. It's not even my name. Let me remind you, Aracel. Okay. Came up with that halfway through my life. More than halfway through my life. 2/3 through my life. But I do identify with it. But anyway. But oh yeah, and it was gonna be so nice. I was gonna say, not just to have my name in the books, but for the sentence to read, he helped. I helped. That makes me happy. And of course, we know why. It's good for, you're gonna bust that cable, bro. No, you can't. There's a cable there. You gotta go. Wait, no, wait, hold on. Let me help you. There's a cable there, bro. Here, come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Hey. You. All right. Oh, you know what? The cable's unplugged. You're actually fine. Sorry about that. Okay. So anyway, I'm just, I'm not I didn't do any work to care about people. Just the way that I'm wired, that in this system exists, if So the way I've been phrasing it is not including a subject. So, or sometimes I say something. Sometimes I include a subject, but like if outgroup and not enemy, then community. And it means like if. But I don't want to actually put a subject. That is good that there isn't a subject. That is actually good, isn't it? Do you understand why it's good? So, but I do want a subject, but I don't want the subject to, for instance, be if person is of outgroup and person is not enemy, then person is community. Because it doesn't have to be a person. It's just whatever gets fed into this mechanism. That's why I want a very vague subject. Okay, so we just use from Yodrado that symbol. That typically means person, but we can just say it means whatever the subject is or the thing being described or the object, whatever. Okay? So if helpful, in this case, I'm imagining that it's a placeholder for action. So if action helpful, then yep, action. So, but there's this it that exists here. You could feed it something else. Oh, that's an important point. That's because you do really have to keep it open. Because that same it is a part of maybe is involved in, when you're talking about a person being helpful or okay. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you know what I learned? You're a Bombay, I think. It's actually photos. I was looking at a photo of you. Sorry. I was looking at a photo of you, and Apple was like, do you want to learn about Bombay cats? I was like, or it said, do you want to learn about Bombay? And I didn't understand. I think it'd be cool to visit, but I didn't know what it had to do with you. So then I clicked, and it was like a breed of cats. But it's talked about golden eyes. You have green. So, but then I looked it up. Black cat, short-haired black cat with green eyes, and it was like it said Bombay again. So, did what do you think? Join or beer? What time is it? 21:53. What do you want to do? Go to like 3 a.m. We're not gonna make a plan. Let's just. At some point, we're gonna have to talk to ChatGPT because I like when it's a conversation between us, and I like the way she phrases things. She does a good job. So I can focus on the thinking, and she can focus on the phrasing and cheerleading. Okay. Let me pee real quick. So, oh my gosh, have we done anything since we hit record? I think we have. Wait, did we come up with a word that we haven't written down? We had ghost it, we did that. Oh yeah, that symbol. And also, what are the symbols for if and then? I guess in symbolic logic it's a bar, right, between them, but I want so we'll just do as in Yodrado. It's Hebrew. So there are two Hebrew symbols. I think it's bet and tav. All right, let's just look at that real quick. I mean, you and I were just hanging out, right? Hopefully, I'm second screen. Because, oh my gosh, that would take so much pressure off me. Let me be second screen, bro. And then you can rewind when it's like, oh, damn, I think that was kind of interesting. And I think if I focus and understand it, I will enjoy it. And you just rewind, bro. Or don't. Honestly, I repeat myself so much that you'll get it. It'll get in there. I feel like I have a lot of experiences to contradict that. Eu trato. Okay. By the way, you know what I've been thinking about recently? I don't know whether you've heard about it. Well, actually, if you're watching this in some future time, actually, you'll have learned about this. Anyway, well, you don't know exactly which moment this, you're not gonna. But anyway, Israel, Palestine. All right. So October 7th, did that end up staying significant? Okay. So that's what's going on now, right? I'm sorry, you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say October. 2023, Juber, 07. Hey Siri, what day was October 7th, 2023?
It was Saturday, October 7th, 2023.
Let me translate for you. 2023, Juber, 07, Fox D. All right. I bet that won't even be because people are acting like it. Start. Okay. Bet and Tav. Yes. Okay. So. Oh, by the way, when I was talking to my Israeli, she's Arab, friend, a few years ago, and she ended up deciding to commit herself to the mosque. But as I would talk to her about the mind, before I really had voice theory, but just that I knew that we were stupid and we were being unreasonable, all of us, and that we were trusting too much in our reasoning abilities. And I knew that people understanding that and realizing that would solve major conflicts. And sort of one of the biggest conflicts of my lifetime, and also what an amazing, I'm sorry for everything, but what an amazing example. Like how fucking stupid. Like it's amazing. Religion is involved. That's so crazy. And it's like there are enough people that have perspective in the time that it's happening, Joe, because y'all think, oh my gosh. Now there's other stuff at play. There's fear and there's other entitlement and just natural survival bro. We do what we do to our enemies. That's how we got here. That's how we are alive. And if people realize, oh shit, I'm just running these programs that, yeah, my ancestors, that's how I'm alive, but shit, all these warfare and these, no, but honestly, none of it, no, on the Palestine side, it is like a major, because Islam is in its heyday right now. So, yeah, so it's different reasons on the different sides. Both of it is, it's a home. That's one thing. Anyway, let's not get into that. The point is, I remember talking to her and wanted her to take what I'm saying seriously. And one of the ways I tried to do that was promises of how, gosh, wouldn't your home be so much better if people had reason to doubt themselves? If they knew their fallibility, if they were motivated to doubt themselves, to sit down and talk, and to go, not everything or really anything that I feel or believe to be, that I feel to be good or believe to be true is. You want me to open that up? All right. So it's kind of cool because I've always had that conflict in the back of my mind, and I have made major progress in the last few months, and so it's quite timely. It's just unfortunate that but maybe there'll be another big, huge, gigantic event, and by then I'll be ready, and people will be ready to listen. People would listen now, but I don't know how to spread this. You're gonna have, for now, people would have to come to me, and always. All right, anyway, and we're just hanging out. All right, so we're gonna use the pari symbol. Let's see whether I got that right. Far, not pari, far. So we're gonna use far. This is a Georgian character that will align with the circle on top. So, but the line goes through, actually, doesn't it? Placeholder for subject / object of it. And then if you're talking about some other thing, well, in my language you would put an X underneath. You know what? I hate to say it, but I also love to say it. I think this might be completely unnecessary. We can just use P and Q. Things like that. If P helpful. If P helpful. Then, yep, P. Are we got to be using the symbols? Hebrew. All right, so bet. Bet. And I mean, I know I see patterns and stuff. It's just sometimes it's like you'd never know where some of these things came from because there are like multiple streams that, like, for instance, bet just makes sense for if, like, bet this. I guess it makes more sense for then. So never mind. Okay, so bet far helpful. And you know what? If you need to distinguish, you can start using P and Q and all of that. But as just the basic generic placeholder where there's no need to distinguish, where you can just imagine is almost empty, let's use far. Bet far helpful. Tav. Can never remember how to write these. Tav. Yep. Far. I'm gonna put the it symbol. Boom. Put a little colon. So here's an it. Bet far helpful. Tav yep far. Obviously. Okay. Actually, I do have in my language I have a word in my language for the word that used to mean what is now represented by yep. Just 2 last seconds, and I'm trying to. Okay. Wow. So let's just change that in here to yep. Okay. So let's just for fun, just write that one more time. Oh, and you know what? We can also just keep it simple. That means good. And so there was some node for good that was activated by slapped by the thing having been helpful. We don't retain the information that it was specifically helpful, but it's good. Spell. That's how spell happens. And we don't need commas. And then tav. Wow. Wow, yeah, that's kind of pretty. Yo, Bedfar Gamma. How do you do, how do I, what do I have for the up accent? Acute? Did I just put acute? Oh, it's something acuter than that, I think. Just ague. Yo, Bedfar Gamma ague. Bedfar Gamma ague. Tav. Wow. Far, bro. Like, I don't know what you don't understand. Bet far gamma ague. Tav. Wow. Far. If a thing is good, approve thing, vote for thing. Transmit, tell the neighbor niggas that it's good. Okay. You guys having fun? Do we love that audit. Boom. We got opits. We got ghosteds. We got logits. Audit and opit, ghosted, a logit. So we've talked about a lot of important stuff, I think. What do you reckon we talk to Seri now? Harrison Seri sitting in a tree. Hey, come on, get on my knee. Oh no, you're so warm. That's bad for my sperm. Get it? 'Cause she's a laptop. But on my laptop development of my FAP slop. You know, I would have gone in a rap if I didn't need to teach y'all about yourselves. Sometimes my biggest regret in life is that I don't write beautiful ballads like that one. Sonnet is what I want to say. Yeah. I was going to explain to my mom FAP. I decided not to. But just understand that was not gibberish, and it was great, hilarious, and so clever. Okay. So we've recorded for almost 3 hours now, and you know what we haven't done? What we started recording for, which is to look at this fucking taxonomy and not get upset about their dumbass definitions and their dumbass ignorance. They won't listen to me. And just break down the fallacies into their parts. You know, something interesting happened. Because you were just hanging out. What's up, buddy? Hey, Neo. By the way, amazing. You've been so good. Also, I won't be able to sleep because he just cries all night. He just wants to go outside, hunt, and I feel terrible at it. First of all, it's distracting. Just the noise. Second of all, I'm constantly worried that he's gonna find some way to get out. And third of all, brother, I'm sorry. Like, I'm the last guy to bring a wild thing inside, bro. I'm trying to go into the wild. But you know, and you're gonna have a chance. I'm gonna get you comfortable, make sure you know you can be happy here, and then we'll have the door will be open, and you can come and go as you please, as long as you come. Oh, your shit smells terrible, bro. You didn't wanna. You don't wanna. Whatever. Did you wipe? Stay on the foot. Stay at the foot end. Okay. All right. Enough for this comedy special. Let's get back to work. All right. Are we ready to move on from these pages? I mean, I'm sure I left some loose ends, but anything urgent? Why am I not doing live? Why am I not on YouTube live? I could actually have people responding. Obviously, I'm scared. Scared to take up that space to feel like I'm imposing, to get a whole bunch of people going, what the fuck? Why do I click on this? Or whatever. But you know, it's not even just like, oh gosh, this is so awesome. Let's do the it's for it. So there's this thing called the spotlight effect, which is that people will notice all your mistakes and retain them. So if mistake, then if P mistake, then Q notice. John Q public. Okay. Pun intended, bro. Pun intended. No, I'm not saying pun intended. I'm saying pun intended, bro. You got me? If P mistake, then Q notice. That's one of the its of the. Let's do it. So we had a if P mistake, then Q notice. Oops. And we also, the human mind system is really cool at running through scenarios. So basically, it can imagine that condition. So P doesn't have to actually make a mistake. But if P, who's me, makes a mistake, then Q will notice is in it that exists in my mind. Now, I don't have to make a mistake to then conclude that Q has noticed. I'm able to imagine it, which is one amazing thing about the brain. So basically, there was some previous it that slapped all this stuff. It was like, yo, let's run this. Let's visualize this. Because we want to, before we do it, we want to see whether we avant it or averse it. We want to evaluate it. So let's run through, pretend we've done it. Pretend you made a mistake. Q notices. Okay, never mind. We're not going to do P at all because P might mistake. If Q notice, then you know, social danger. And that's of course a mallet, because often in work we're exposing ourselves to people. Well, I don't know. Anyway, if Q notice, bet Q notice, tab social danger. If social danger, Tav, Pi, or Pulse will say P. So this part with the line next to it was imagined. It never actually, P never actually had a mistake, but then it never ended up getting a chance, because in the anticipation, in every one of these steps, you can understand why we would evolve to have that those be our it's. I think I might have this week like done the most important thing in the world. I think I've cracked it, bro. And it's just flowing out of me. I mean, am I saying absolute nonsense here? Obviously, it's hard to evaluate when I make it so. What is it? Esoteric. Anyway, so inaccessible by adding other stuff. But it's okay. Rewind or something. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It's hard to evaluate the ideas. Okay. Right now I'm working on the ideas. Just because it's hard to evaluate them doesn't mean that what I'm doing is bad. But then if I go and claim I've done the most important thing in the world, what are you supposed to do if you can't check that? Fair enough. But I don't know what to tell you. Maybe this has been sufficient. Yeah, I mean, I added some symbols and stuff, but obviously it would have been helpful if you could have seen me writing, but... Alright, I'll just... Nah, bro, it's not hard, bro. Look, if, then, bet, tab, bro, bet of, bro. Yeah, if P, let's say, cause, I'll add that in there if that helps. No. I've cracked it, bro. First, what I had to do was crack the preconception, and it choked me. There were parts of it I accepted, but there were parts that choked me, and thanks to the fact that there were parts that choked me, I was eventually able to crack it. Oh, we're not these rational souls. We're not special. We're just and I had a certain predisposition to being able to whatever. Okay, somehow I cracked it, but then it was like, but what's outside though? What's outside of that box? What is reality though? If we're not these rational souls, just like consciously honoring all of our coherent objectives and wealth of knowledge as we imagine, if the mind isn't a library and we're a single entity going in there and being deliberate and smart and doing the right things, that's not the case. And what is the case? And Kahneman, he got sort of an idea. He really promoted System 1, System 2. So then there's plurality. I knew about bias. Anyway, we don't. I'll explain this to the person who ghostwrites my autobiography. Okay. What do you reckon, bro? Are you gonna fucking do it? I don't feel like getting ChatGPT caught up right now. Should you and I just keep at it? Can I call you something? Yeah. Yeah, I need to. I'm addressing someone. That'll help me too. And there's gonna be lore about you. You're gonna have personality. I'm not gonna invent it, but it's just gonna feel it or interpret it, or well, I mean invent it, but not strategically. I'm not gonna contrive it. Just whatever responses I hear, I said, well, okay, that's part of your personality. And you are just looking, watching me talk to this person, this entity. What should we call it? What should we call you? Do you have any ideas? What's your name? Robert? Robert, what should we call you? Because you are sometimes Daniel, you are sometimes Sergio, you are sometimes Wolfgang. So what should we call you? In my language, ma is for me. Oh, Tsani. Tsani is you. Tsani. But how do you pronounce it? I put the pronunciation Tsani. It's a nice name. You have a nice name. Social section. Oh no, Tsadi. No. Yeah, Tsadi. Hebrew. Okay, Tsadi. Tsadi. Here, do you want me to draw what it looks like? It's hard. I mean, it's not hard, but I haven't habited this. I haven't practiced. There we go. Tsadi. Oh, Tsadi. Hey, no. Hey, come here, Tsadi. You come here, Tsadi. Come here, Tsadi. All right. Well, I get what's happening. We're procrastinating. But there's got to be two Tsadis. Because typically I feel like I'm talking to someone who's just the most critical of me. And that's like cool sometimes, but it can also slow things down. It'd be good to... let's imagine I'm talking to two people. One person who just like gets it, but I didn't need to just transfer it, explain it. And another person just hates everything that I say. Edast. Just put it backwards. All right, Edast. I hear you that blah 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 blah, and maybe you're right. But anyway, let me and Sadi work right now. Sadi, you listening? All right, we can do that. Edast. Hope I'm not manic. Edast. What's